Hey everybody, welcome out to Carnage Candy. I'm Sean and that's Grayson.
Hello.
Today we're going to be doing an autopsy, aka a breakdown of some of our favorite horror scenes. And today we're going to be doing one of my favorite scenes in any movie ever. This cesarean scene in the med pod from Prometheus, to me, is perfect sci-fi horror in a 3-minute clip.
I will say when you told me this, or told me about this scene, it kind of confused me at first. I haven't seen this in a while, and thinking back on it, I'm like, okay, so what made this stick out in his head so much? Like, what is the key moment? Mm-hmm. And as I thought about it, I was like, man, she watches this unfold right in front of her eyes while she's wide awake. And I just keyed in on that. I was like, this is awesome.
Even more than that, and why it's my favorite, is because she's not fertile. She can't have kids.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Yes, and so earlier on in Prometheus, she states her boyfriend, who obviously gets infected by David with the pathogen.
Is that the eye guy?
The eye guy,
Gotcha.
yes.
Yeah.
He says the reason he wants to meet his makers is because nobody being able to create is the best thing in the world. And she's like, what do you think about me then? And she gets really emotional because she can't have kids. And then guess what? They have sex when he's infected, and she gets pregnant real fucking quick. Immediately gets pregnant. So not only is she having to perform a cesarean on herself and watch it happen, she's doing it with something she doesn't want in her after voicing her obvious kind of, this kind of self-perception that she may be less than since she can't reproduce. So not only is it Ripley's kind of fear of being, it's also her not wanting a baby that isn't a baby and then taking it out herself. And they also, earlier in the scene, in the movie, they set up the med pod as a big deal reserved for the ultra rich, something that's very rare. She says, oh, they only made so of these. So she asks for a cesarean. The machine tells her no, it can't do that kind of operation because apparently it's not made for a woman's body. This is a better movie after you see Covenant, and it will be a much better movie if you watch it after you've watched Romulus. So let's dive into this. So obviously giving herself the sedative, she's got these crazy bandage wraps. Also, way to go on her for getting crazy fit for this. She is a monster. She's just ripped out of her mind. Okay, here we go, man.
Isn't there something similar to this in Elysium too? Like the pods they could get into that fixes them?
There might be, but I don't necessarily remember that. I don't remember that movie too well. So it's like she's getting ready for this crazy, horrible ride. So it may not be, it's not in this scene, but before she gets ready on the pods, she asks for a cesarean. It says no. Then she says foreign body, and then basically tells the machine there's a foreign body. It's not a cesarean, but the machine needs to take the shit out. Oh no! Oh God! And there is.
I do remember what the thing looks like.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
It is a little gnarly, so. Obviously, that's like a disinfectant for the surgery.
I think my favorite thing about this is it is gnarly, but it's just to that right moment to where your imagination takes over a little bit more too. Just because it's this part right here that spreads.
Oh no!
Like, oh, you could have been so much more worse, and it's even worse that you weren't.
Yeah. It's just so, and the machine's doing everything so delicately and perfectly.
Now, I assume that's a painkiller that she's injecting into.
Yes, it's like an anesthetic. So, oh, that wasn't so bad. Oh no!
God. Oh, that face exactly. Oh no!
So the embryonic sac, and so when I'm watching it, I'm like, I just immediately think about the embryonic sac bursting into the open wound. But it is so juicy, and that face that she makes is just The absolute worst. She sells it so well.
Oh, yuck. Oh,
Whoa.
there it goes.
Oh, man. Just brutally ripping the umbilical cord out of your own. Oh. Oh, that is so cool, man.
Awesome.
I want to watch that one more time just because I...
Dit.
Oh, it's so good, and it's so really in the tube with her. Oh, it's flopping.
The sound is really good, too.
Yeah.
The flopping noises it's making is so awesome.
And you don't...
You're stuck.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere.
Yeah, she has to wait. Look how slow it opens.
And just imagining how bad that's hurting because you're having to use like your lower body and your abs to like scoot out.
Yes.
So it's just pulling on those staples.
Oh my God.
Yeah, decontaminate it.
And just, yeah. Be quiet. So, but yeah, spectacular scene. Obviously, the biggest issue I now have for Prometheus is everything she's able to do after this scene. It's very unlikely she's jumping and rolling and diving.
Is the running from the ship crashing right after
It
this?
is all after this.
Okay.
In my opinion, if this would have served as the finale to the movie before everything else kind of goes to shit, I feel like people would hate Prometheus a little bit less. I feel like this happens just a little too early for us to believe that she's going to physically be able to do the rest.
So there's like another 30 minutes left after this. Then, right?
Yeah, this happens like this is like the end of the second act. It's very, very strange, but I just love everything about that. It's like a perfect blend of like making it's like a chest burster scene, but for some reason to me more brutal, especially given the emotional weight that there's got to be some psychological trauma to all of that.
Well, yeah, that makes a lot more sense on why that is such a good scene because I didn't remember her not being able to have a kid because I hadn't seen it in so long. So it makes sense, like you watching this recently, why this sticks out so much now.
Yeah, I think that makes it an even more intense, kind of layered scene, and I think that's what you get when you have good. If she was like just some doctor, right, then it wouldn't have hit as hard. But since you get that little backstory and the fact that embryo came from somebody she loved, who was infected and not, a face hugger or something like that, makes it even more intense. But you should watch Prometheus. If you've watched Romulus and you haven't watched Prometheus, you should go back and watch Prometheus because I think you'd be a little more willing to forgive it for what it does do wrong, which is plenty, but still a really fun time. Thank you for watching. Could have seen this earlier over on patreon.com/hangtime. So make sure and go check that out. I've got a link for you right there. And check out my personal top 10 favorite horror movies of all time in this countdown, which you can watch right here. Say, don't forget to subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe. You want to do it like Little Nicky?
Yeah, do it one more time.
Don't forget to subscribe.
I'm not even going to edit it out, though. You're just going to ask twice.